Good morning, Mr. Kunkel.
Good morning, Mr. Palmer. How are you?
I confused myself. Usually I do a countdown for us so
Right.
that we know we're going to start.
I was waiting.
I didn't. Oh, well. So the last couple of days, I have been chatting with friends, and I mean it, they're friends, but it's like they have been asking me questions, leading questions like, were you a fan of Charlie Kirk?
Right.
And that's a difficult question because there's so many facets of that. And I say yes.
Yeah.
I was. Yes, there was some confusion. Yes, this, yes, that. Difficulty for Charlie Kirk, for the people that want to have heard something terrible from him, is that he quoted the Old Testament a long time ago. And first of all, the Old Testament is the Old Testament for a reason. And as a Christian, I mean, he was more of a New Testament guy. So, I mean, he evolved over a period of time. And you have to pay attention. You can't just say, well, you know, you did this 25 years ago, and now I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, I grew up Lutheran, and there was always this confusion about, is the New Testament just in addition to the Old Testament? Because when you buy a Bible, you get both. You get the New Testament and Old Testament, or does it supersede? Right. Is it like, oh, all that stuff is null and void in the Old Testament. This is the New Testament. This is after Jesus came to straighten things out. Because supposedly before that, it was the Word of God, but who passed that on, to them? Right. And so I don't know. I mean, it's full of a lot of crazy stuff, and it's fire and brimstone and eye for an eye and all that stuff.
You kind of got to remember that the people that were the ones, because it was people who decided what books and what things and what laws and what rules were going to be in the Old Testament, and a lot of them were like, I would say prehistoric, like Putin.
Yeah.
And they were mean, and they would go, that guy over there's a fag and we should kill him. Right. And that's literally the kind of mentality that they had. We didn't even mean to go off on this, but the point is that there are a lot of things that are open for question. And the point about Charlie Kirk, in my estimation, was we could talk about it.
Yeah.
We should talk about it. We should, bounce back and forth. What's your question? What's your premise? What do you think? That's the beautiful part of it. And to look at Christianity through that perspective is like pretty wonderful.
It is. And now we don't have that voice. And he was, people say he was like really right wing. He was pretty moderate compared to a lot of, certainly compared to a lot of the people who have podcasts and are out there. It's like that void is going to be filled probably by someone who is more conservative than him. Right. And maybe not as willing to try to put themselves and be empathetic, put themselves in the other person's shoes. But a lot of the people who came up and supposedly wanted to ask a question, they were just grandstanding, making accusations, calling him a Nazi, and all this. And politicians are doing that still. Right after the assassination, we need to tone down the rhetoric, and then next day, the Republicans are Nazis and tyrants, existential threat. It's like, this is why you get your weirdo nutcases on your side, which there's nutcases on both sides, but most of them are Democrats. Right. No doubt about it. I'm not going to say, I did say both sides, but 90% of the nutcases are Democrats. Right. And they get these people all worked up.
Unless you watch CNN or MSNBC, and then you get the idea that maybe it is on both sides, it's not.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah, what political assassinations have occurred from a right-winger?
Well,
I mean, maybe one now, but we don't know about that LDS church in, where was that? Grand Blanc?
Michigan,
yeah. So we don't know about that.
Very sad.
Yeah, it is extremely sad.
I mean, they're all sad, but this is one that just doesn't have an explanation.
2 months or so, it was like every week there was some political assassination of some sort by a leftist. Right. And, churches getting shut up by Truny goofballs and stuff like that. Yep. But, speaking of Truny goofballs, today Hegseth and Trump were talking about the military and how we need to get rid of this woke nonsense.
I didn't see the entire thing, but what?
I haven't either.
They were fantastic.
I've got opinions.
Yeah, well, and so did they. And the thing that I saw, Hegseth set it up. It was like a good baseball game. Hegseth set it up and said, these are the important things that we're talking about. This is, we have to talk about the warrior ethos. We have to talk about our willingness to win et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There is no more room for trannies. Not his word.
Right.
I was sort of hoping.
I'm sure he was thinking it.
Yeah. But, it's like we have to people. First of all, the audience was all admirals and generals. And I don't think there was anybody below that. So it was a full room, but it was a lot of guys who are there because they want to support this country. And they're probably, and you said, and I think Trump reiterated, if you don't believe this, you shouldn't be here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not some social program. That's what the Democrats and the woke people were trying to make the military, some social program. You could go in, say you're a truly goofball, and get surgery for, bottom surgery or top surgery, whatever you want, paid for by the taxpayer, and then you're on wrong sex hormones for the rest of your life. And I've talked to people in the military. If you say you have an infected tooth and you're on antibiotics, but you're going to get deployed over to Iraq. You're flying out of Ramstein Air Base in Germany. You have to go to Iraq. Well, they can't guarantee that you're going to have those antibiotics over there in Iraq because you might be deployed in the field. You might lose them. Sure. So they pull the tooth. They don't even give you the option like, hey, do you want to delay your deployment until this tooth? No.
That's not the purpose.
But
that's not why you're there.
Trudies are on wrong sex hormones and hormone blockers for the rest of their life. Right. So they cannot be deployed ever.
And as far as I'm concerned, or trusted.
That's first of all, they're mentally ill. They have gender dysphoria. It's a mental condition, needs to be treated, needs to be taken seriously, because I can't imagine how hard that would be to be going through life thinking you're in the wrong body. And that's, it's like those people, this is a more stark example, those people who think, I should have been born with one arm. So, doctor, please take this arm off. I should be disabled, and I'm not. And people are starting to actually consider that and getting surgery to remove perfectly healthy appendages. Well, that's just a little bit, it's not even different, because people are getting their tallywhacker whacked off, getting the breasts removed, stuff like that, and getting weirdo stuff done to their body for no reason other than that they're being coddled and they're not being treated for their mental illness.
They've somehow been convinced, either internally or externally, that they really should be a woman or should be a man. Usually, it's a woman.
Yeah,
but
because they want to play life on easy mode.
Yeah, I guess that must be the case.
I'm a woman.
But don't you think that there's also just a huge movement among the extreme liberals to get rid of that toxic masculinity at any cost?
Yeah, which
we'll turn them into women if we have to.
It's bad enough in other institutions, but in the military, we need warriors. Yeah. We don't need people who are there mentally ill trying to undermine the actual mission of the military, which is to break things and kill people. I mean, we said that. I'm kind of glad. I didn't like it at first when they changed Department of Defense to Department of War, but it kind of makes sense because
it's a mindset.
It's a mindset. And the other thing is we do these actions that are not necessarily defensive. When we send the Marines over to do something or whatever, that's not defensive. We're not being attacked in the homeland. We're there helping out allies or whatever. And that's war. That's not defense.
So when they bomb the crap out of some boat coming out of Colombia that's loaded with Venezuela or... Well, right. Yeah, that's a different country.
I mean, you could say it's defense because the fentanyl or whatever is killing hundreds of thousands of Americans every year. Right. So it is defending the homeland.
So the number that Trump said to all the generals and admirals is that every one of those boats is 25,000 American lives.
Yeah.
That's a
pretty good trade-off.
Yeah.
And then all these
kill them, sure.
All these lefties are like, well, those people didn't get due process.
I know.
Well, first of all, they're not American citizens. They are criminals. Obviously, criminals don't get if they're resisting arrest and they get shot. Of course, you don't get due process.
Well, let's talk about the due process part, because I am really quite sick and tired of Antifa getting due process.
Yeah, all these guys, they're a terrorist group.
They are a terrorist group.
Should be shoot on sight.
They always have been a terrorist group, of course. But they were the Democrats' terrorist group, so they got defended mostly by Kamala.
Leftist brown shirts.
I bet Kamala never wrote anything about that in her 107 Days book. I'll bet you anything.
Well, she didn't write anything. There was a ghostwriter, I'm sure. She's illiterate. The only thing she knows is, Willie Brown's Willie. That's how she got ahead.
And a bottle.
Yeah, she's a drunkard.
Yeah. At any rate, I've long thought that if you're going to declare yourself against the country and against our military and against law enforcement, that is not a reason to give them due process. I think that I think it's wrong to give them due process. I don't care. You want to be on our side or not. You want to live in the comfort of the United States and be able to practice freedom every day.
Right.
Freedom is worth fighting for.
That's for sure.
And we have to treat this as something. If somebody's on the outside of that, we have to do what we have to do.
Well, the leftist media are still perpetrating this lie that Antifa is not an organization. It's just some sort of idea.
I know.
And it's like
stupidest.
They have stickers and flags and basically uniforms. That black block where they all dress the same in that black. So it's like you can't say, "Oh, who threw that pyrotechnic at the cops?" The person there in the black. Well, they're all in black,
right?
And the cops just need to go in and bust heads, on these people because I'm sick of. Well, what's really happening terribly now is people are shooting at ICE agents with actual bullets.
Yes,
and that one freak killed 2 illegal aliens, which is terrible. As much as I don't like illegal aliens, they only deserve deportation, not to be harmed in any way, physically harmed.
Well, right, of course.
But that freak shot in Dallas, I think it was, shot from the rooftop, shot trying to kill ICE agents and killed 2 illegal aliens and wounded another.
Right.
And, as if they're not some sort of terrorist organization. That's what's the definition of terrorism?
He was a lone actor, was he not?
Yeah, he was. But they're using violence to further push a political end.
Maybe we don't know that he was.
Yeah, who knows?
Because
he was a furry. I saw a picture of him with some sort of not a full-on furry costume. It was like
he looked like one without a costume anyway. So
you could just tell there's something wrong with that guy.
Yeah,
just weird. But I'm glad that Hegseth and Trump are getting people who are not willing to be warriors out of the military because we only have so much budget to pay people to be in the military, and we can't have a bunch of people undermining, actively undermining like the Truny goofballs were. Promoting other Truny goofballs to get ahead. And, they're a huge drain on the resources because they have surgeries they need. They have medications they need all the time. It's like, what barracks do you put them in? With the women or the men? It's like, well, they're kind of both.
Shouldn't have to
even worry about it.
Right, exactly.
But I've had to. So they need to be drummed out. And then the people who are just there for a paycheck we need warriors who believe in the mission. Because the mission's tough.
One of the things that Trump was saying, which I thought was really, kind of he bumbles his way through a speech like I do on a talk show, on a podcast. But
you and me both.
And the point is that what he was saying was, our submarines are not detectable. All those other guys, they're detectable. We can find them any day. And, it was like he was speaking directly to China. He was speaking directly to Putin. And he was undermining them and making those soldiers in those boats know that we can find you.
Yeah.
I love that.
A hunt for Red October, and that Russian sub was undetectable.
No, but not apparently the case.
The crawler drive or whatever that was.
However, our technology has probably vastly improved since that time, and maybe these other countries haven't.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Obama sold it to them or gave it to them like the Clintons did.
Well, the Clintons certainly did that with jet fighters.
Yeah, they sold that technology to the Chinese for money.
Yeah. Well, for money and because he got caught on camera with a female general playing around.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Wow, which general was that?
Chinese general.
Oh, a Chinese general.
Yeah, female general.
Oh, so it was a real female. Not a Truny. Oh, wow.
And I don't remember the name.
Could have been like Rachel Levine in that crazy outfit. Like, oh, what'd you earn that medal for? You freak. You're not even in the military.
Right.
You'd never make it through boot camp, you fatty.
Unbelievable.
It drives me nuts seeing him in that uniform looking like a freak. It's like, you're not in the military. You have no discipline. You're a freak. You're a mentally ill person.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Totally. I vote her out. Him.
He took his.
Richard.
I've said this several times. He took his mother out of the nursing home in Pennsylvania before he ordered nursing homes to take in COVID patients because he knew that was going to kill old people.
Right.
How evil is that? And there he was.
You may be giving him too much credit here. I don't know. I mean, maybe he wasn't that bright.
I don't think he's that stupid. I mean, he took his mother out. He knew that was going to cause problems, or else he wouldn't. He would have been like, it's fine.
I guess you're right.
It was fine for everyone else.
You're right. Okay.
And that's what killed my dad.
Yep. Sad. It is.
Now, Hegseth, I don't know if I haven't seen his 10-point plan yet, but we should go through that soon. But I'm kind of conflicted on that because I know there are some women who are tough as nails and can do the job. I'm kind of hesitant to say that we need like female combat troops. I know we have women pilots and stuff, and they even are in some sort of combat roles now.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, they're certainly putting their lives on the line.
They're putting their lives, and they certainly, they fly those, air refuel tankers a lot. But it's human nature. Like, say you have a woman in your platoon, and you get under attack, get ambushed or something, and she gets grabbed by the enemy. Well, it's male nature to go out of their way to protect a woman because it's been drummed into us our entire lives.
So true.
And we really, feel like a visceral need to protect them. And so they could get them into more trouble than it should. I mean, some guy gets captured. It's like, we'll try hard to get him back, but they're going to lose their mind if a female from their group gets wounded or gets captured. And that could cause them to do things that are foolhardy and get them killed.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
I just think it puts more people at risk than it should be.
Look, let me go back for 1 second. I've seen some pictures of some pretty hard-hitting, muscular, trans military fighters with major weaponry in their hands.
Trans, you're insane. You shouldn't have any weaponry, even as a civilian.
Okay.
Because you're insane. I mean, you filled out those forms to get a firearm transferred to you.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. You're saying it's basically an affidavit that you're not mentally ill.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
it's part of it.
True.
And don't have a criminal record and all this stuff that would preclude you from having a firearm.
Right.
Well, if you have gender dysphoria, you're mentally ill. And these people are being weaponized because they're being told, these conservatives, they're out to get you.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Existential threat. And that's why we've seen this rash of Truny goofballs who are like 0.00001% of the population have done... 9 of the last 30 or so mass shootings?
Isn't it wild?
Crazy
Being the key word.
Yeah, crazy. And some people say 7 because 2 of them were non-binary, but not necessarily fully on.
Or didn't have their own manifesto.
Full on Trunifesto.
Trunifesto.
But they're just they're already mentally unstable, and they're being worked up to be killers by the left. And then the left is like, well, it's Trump's rhetoric. It's your rhetoric. You're telling these mentally ill goofballs that Trump is trying to kill you, so you need to do something. He's a Nazi, and it's okay to kill Nazis. If you'd have killed Hitler in 1933 or whatever, 37 they came into power, I believe it was, you'd be a hero. And they're getting them all worked up like this. And, of course...
God, you're so right. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nutty. And so it's like they're coddling these people and they're weaponizing them against their political enemies, which is us. And we're just sitting there acting like, well, we need to, just like with the ICE facilities, I think we were talking about that earlier too. They're starting to actually shoot live rounds at ICE agents. And the ICE agents are still shooting paintballs.
Right.
And you've seen ICE agents, like one guy knocked down the woman who was running for some sort of Democrat position. He kind of he pushed her away because she was trying to block a car. And then as he was doing the final push, he kind of hip checked her a little bit and her feet went out from under her and she fell on the ground. Well, he got in trouble for that.
Right.
And there was some ICE agent also there was a deportation hearing and the woman came, the guy, even a leftist judge says, no, this guy's getting deported because he has a major
for a real reason
criminal record. Then the wife is getting in the face of the ICE agent starts touching and starts poking at him and shit. ICE agents pushes her away. He got in trouble for a brief time, but
ridiculous.
It should have never. It should have been like, hey, you touched a police officer, you're going to jail.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I'm disappointed that the DOJ didn't jump all over that, because Pam Blondie again was like, well, that's that kind of action is. We're going to look into that. It's like, no, that kind of action is totally fine, because she was poking and pushing on this guy,
right, and
he just pushed back. I mean, you're not allowed to accost.
I agree.
You can get in their face and yell, but you can't touch them. You can't touch an officer.
I don't think you should even be allowed to get in their face and yell. Yeah. They're doing a job. You're distracting them. There's going to be a cause. It's like pushing on a bus driver when he's driving.
Yeah.
It's like there's going to be an accident.
Right.
Something's going to happen. I don't think that we have the right to do that.
Yeah,
you want to go out there and have a little march and walk around with your placards. That's okay.
Right.
I get that. But not to go in and have a fight and throw bottles and all that crap. That is that's got to be against the law.
It's assault.
It's assault.
Well, it's the other thing. There's this gray area that the left is taking advantage of too, with the bullhorns and like really loud stuff, which can permanently damage your hearing. And they're like getting in people's faces with bullhorns
on purpose.
Like, I'm not touching you. The other thing is they use those lasers and they're blinding people.
Yes.
It's like, that's assault. And it should, if people are doing that, you could lose your vision. So I think the cops and ICE agents should be able to use live rounds and fire back at these people, because they're trying to cause permanent damage. And then they're shooting fireworks into the cops, stuff like that. It's like,
and the reason that they do it is because they know nothing's going to happen to them. That won't get us any reaction at all.
Yeah, yeah. It needs to be a message. It's like these people. It's like,
and the longer we don't do this, the worse it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Need to shut it down.
I feel very parental right now.
Yeah.
I'm Russell Palmer.
I'm Doug Kunkel. We should talk.